able to understand? So Vairagya is a state of the mind, not just externally giving up sense objects. Vairagya is jihasa, the desire to give up all sense objects, beginning from which place, dear devotees? One's own body, all the way up to which position? Shri Brahma. Here is the. So this Brahma is actually the position or the kind of power. Yeah. All the facilities that come with the Brahma's force, basically. The birth as Shri Brahma. So, Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
Vairagya is to give up all desires of experiencing impermanent objects of enjoyment in the universe through one's eyes, ear, etc., beginning from one's own body all the way up to the position of Lord Brahma. Vivek Churamani 22.
So, dear devotees, Vairagya is to give up all desires of experiencing impermanent objects, beginning from one's own body. So this is Vairagya. This is what differentiates Virag from Vairagya. Virag is in selected objects. Vairagya is in all the objects. That is the distinction between Virag and Vairagya. Very simple distinction. Now, dear devotees, why should we have Vairagya? Question. Very simple. Why should we have Vairagya? Because as Sri Jiva Goswami says, there is something natural which is there within the conditioned living entity. What is natural within the living entity? Rag or Vairagya? Rag. If Rag is natural, let's behave naturally. Why are we trying to do something unnatural? So, instead of Vairagya, what should we have? Rag. So, that was the lecture. Thank you very much. That's it. Dear devotees, there is a reason why Vairagya is needed. But in order to understand Vairagya in a more logical, systematic way that can convince us, because I'm not here to just tell you, oh, beat you with a stick, oh, you should have Vairagya, and then all of you go back home. It was a nice lecture, let's have Prashad and Hare Krishna. So that's not the purpose of this talk. The purpose of this talk is to very clearly specify what is the need for Vairagya and how Vairagya can be developed in a logical manner. And this, dear devotees, for this we will go to one of the most intelligent authorities that appeared in ancient India. This authority today rules over the entire world. Dear devotees, 2500 years after he has left the planet, he still continues to rule over the entire world. In every corner of the world, wherever you find a yoga studio, please remember Maharshi Patanjali. Devotees, this personality is the incarnation of Anantashesh, Bhagwan Anantashesh, Maharshi Patanjali. And Maharshi Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras defines what is Vairagya. So, how many of us would like to learn about Vairagya directly from Maharshi Patanjali? Please raise your hand. Wonderful. In the Yoga Sutras, Maharshi Patanjali is speaking about Vairagya. And Maharshi Patanjali gives a technical definition, but we will try to simplify it. Please repeat the definition after me. Drishta, Anushravika, Vishaya, Vikrashnasya, Vashikara, Samyam, Vairagyam. Patanjali Muni is saying something in the first chapter of Yoga Sutra, Sutra 15, 1.15. Patanjali Muni is saying, Drishta, some sense objects are directly seen in front of you. Can you give some examples of sense objects that you can see in day-to-day life? Laptop. Okay. Anything? Flowers.
Other human beings.
The beauty of other human beings. This is drishta. What is this? What is drishta? Drishta means it is seen. Some enjoyment is anushravika. Anushravika means you have not directly seen, but you have heard from others about it. Example: those who are pious after death will go to Swarga. Now, Swarga, heavenly planets, is Drishta or Anushravika? So, there are two types of enjoyment. One is known as Drishta, one is known as Anushravika. even if a person enjoys the entire Earth planet, so he has enjoyed only one part. Which part he has enjoyed? Drashta. But he has yet to enjoy which one? Devotees Anushrava. So Patanjali Muni wants to cover both types of enjoyment, Drishta and Anushravika. Both types of enjoyment Patanjali Muni wants to cover. And he says Vishaya, all sense objects. And I'll give another example. Let's say there is a person who is staying, let's say there is a person who is staying in India, and somebody tells him that there is immense enjoyment if you go to Australia. Wonderful. Take citizenship and stay in Australia, there is immense enjoyment. So, dear devotees, for him, Australia is Drishta or Anushravika? Anushravika. And then he goes to Australia. And then what does Australia become? Drishta. So, there are two types of enjoyment. Patanjali Muni says Drishta and Anushravika. These two types of Vishaya, Vitrishnasya, one who has lost taste. Trishna is thirst. What is Trishna? Thirst. With Trishna, complete lack of thirst. For a person who has complete lack of thirst for both types of enjoyments, Drishta and Anushravika. Vashikara Samgya. The stage of Vashikara is known as Vairagya. Which stage is known as Vairagya? Vashikara. Now, what is Vashikara? We don't know. Patanjali Muni, what definition did you give? Till now, we were able to understand. Suddenly, in the last step, you put another obstacle. Vashikara. Today, devotees, please repeat after me. Vairagya is Vashikara. Simple definition. What is Vairagya, dear devotees? Vashikara. Now, next question arises. What is the next question? What is Vashikara? So, first, we will see this. For a person who is devoid of desire for all sense objects that are Drishta. What is the meaning of Drishta? Seen. And Anushravika. Anushravika is heard of. The stage of Vashikar is known as Vairagya. Now, I will explain what is Vashikar. The commentators, the commentary was written by none other than Sri Vyasadeva. Sri Vyasadeva wrote a commentary on the Yoga Sutras of Muni Patanjali. So, Sri Vyasadeva explains that there are 4 levels of Vairagya. Dear devotees, first please repeat the name after me. Yatamana. Please hear carefully, dear devotees. The first stage of Vairagya is which one? Yatamana. What is Yataman? That an individual who is enjoying in the material world starts feeling that there is something wrong with the material world. Something is wrong. And this person tries to detach himself from the material world. He is trying right now, but is unable to detach himself or herself from the sense objects. In Hindi, there is a term Jatan. What is the meaning of Jatan?
Jatan, like
Jatan. Endeavoring right now. Jatan is endeavoring. Yatna kar raha hai. Yatna kar raha means is endeavoring right now. So Yatamana, right now he has begun the endeavor of detaching himself or herself. But are they able to detach themselves at this stage? No. They are failing again and again. This stage of Vairagya is known as which stage? Yataman Vairagya. Second stage, please repeat. Vyatireka. Vyatireka is, Vyatireka means some sense objects have been conquered. Some sense objects are still remaining. This level of Vairagya is known as which Vairagya? Vyatireka Vairagya. Example, a person may have conquered the desire to smoke intoxicants. Absolutely no desire remaining to smoke intoxicants. But still, they are not able to give up the desire to listen to good music. And this level of Vairagya is called as which Vairagya? Vyatireka. When we were defining, this is Virag actually. What is this? What is Virag? Virag means you are able to give up something, you are not able to give up something. This is called as Virag. Patanjali Muni calls it Vyatireka Vairagya. Third, please repeat after me. Ekendriya. Ekendriya means now all the physical senses have been conquered. But the attachment is still remaining in one sense.
Mind.
Where is the attachment remaining? Mind. Ek indriya. What is the meaning of ek indriya? One sense organ. And in which sense organ is the attachment still remaining? Mind. This third level of vairagya is called as which vairagya? Ekendriya vairagya. So now they are not acting it out on the physical level. But now the attachment is remaining on which level? Mental level. Only in one sense organ, that is the mind. And finally, devotees, Vashikara.
Vashikara.
When that attachment is not present even in the mind, when you have fully conquered all that in the mind, then you have reached the fourth stage. And what is the fourth stage? Vashikara. Now, dear devotees, let's go back and see. For a person who is devoid of desire for all sense objects that are drishta, what is the meaning of drishta? See. And anushravika, what is anushravika? The stage of vashikar is known as vairagya. Which means that if a person still has desires remaining in their mind, but just not acting it out on the physical level, then that particular stage, is it called as vairagya? No. So that will not be called as vairagya. So this, dear devotees, is very important to understand, because if a person still has desires remaining within their mind, then they have not actually achieved the stage of vairagya. The reason why a person starts getting detached from material, because usually a person has raga, they don't have vairagya. The reason why a person starts getting away from raga, because it's not that the vairagis are pagal ki, there was nothing else to do, so they started detaching themselves. There is a reason why people start getting away, and this does not happen in one life. It happens over multiple lives. Because what happens is a person experiences that same material enjoyment again and again, and after experiencing the same material enjoyment again and again over multiple lives, a person starts developing the feeling of detachment or vairagya. And the reason is because the person understands that from the same source of enjoyment, there is suffering that is arising. Dear devotees, in the Gita, Bhagavan mentions this fact. Please sing after me. ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा,
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा,
दुःखयोनय एव ते,
दुःखयोनय एव ते,
आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय,
आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय,
तेषु रमते बुधा,
तेषु रमते बुधा।
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगा. ये भोगा. What is the meaning of bhoga? Enjoyment. Those enjoyments which you find in the world, Krishna says, and many people, they do not agree to this very easily. They think that God is against my enjoyment. They do not understand the nature of the world when they are thinking like this. Ye hi samsparshaja bhoga. Ye bhoga. Those enjoyments which you find in the world. And Bhagavan uses a very specific term, samsparshaja. What is the meaning of samsparshaja? While walking in the world, your senses come in contact with many objects. For example, you are walking in the world and then you see many cars passing by. So your eyes are coming in sparsha. What is the meaning of sparsha? Contact. With many cars while you are walking. But suddenly there comes a car which you want to purchase. Now it is not only sparsha. Now it becomes what, dear devotees? Samsparsha. Nicely you will look at it, and then your eyes are fixed on that particular car. Ye hi samsparshaja. From this samsparsha, from this proper contact, bhoga, the sense enjoyment arises. And Sri Krishna says dukkha yonaya. those same objects of enjoyment become yoni, birthplace of dukkha. That same object of enjoyment becomes the yoni, becomes the birthplace of suffering. Adi antavantaha. And all those enjoyments have a beginning and an end. Why is Bhagavan saying all enjoyments have a beginning and end? There is a reason. In Hindi, there was a phrase. I will speak in Hindi, then I'll explain in English. सुख भी दुख है जब वो जाता है.
Right. Yeah.
Happiness is also distress when happiness goes away. So, Adi Antavantaha. All pleasures have a beginning and they have an end. When pleasures have a beginning, that is the time when the seed of suffering is already sown. Because it is going to end. Therefore, na teshu, in all those enjoyments, na ramate. One may enjoy, but one does not take great attachment or pleasure in them. The intelligent people don't take that pleasure. So, Krishna says, kindly read.
An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Yeah. So Bhagavan directly says that sources of enjoyment become sources of misery. Now, dear devotees, is it easy for us to convince ourselves of this particular verse? How many are convinced that sources of enjoyment are sources of misery? Convinced?
Little bit.
Many people did not raise their hand. How many want to be convinced? Wonderful. So we want to be convinced that sources of enjoyment are actually sources of misery. So, dear devotees, this is very important. Please hear this. We will once again bring Patanjali Muni. And Patanjali Muni will convince us how sources of enjoyment are actually sources of misery. Patanjali Muni says, in all sources of enjoyment, you will experience three types of dukkha. What is the meaning of dukkha? Dear devotees, don't become distracted. Please pay close attention here. In all sources of enjoyment, you will experience three types of misery. What are the three types? What is dukkha, dear devotees? Adhyatmic. Wrong. This is not what Patanjali Muni is going to do. Patanjali Muni doesn't believe in telling you what you already know. Now he will say something which you have to pay very close attention. Devotees, don't get distracted. Please pay close attention to what is being said. Patanjali Muni says there are three types of dukkha that arise directly from the sources of enjoyment. Please repeat after me. The first one. Parinama. Parinama dukkha is the first dukkha. What is the meaning of parinama dukkha, dear devotees? Something starts as enjoyment. Later, parinam transforms into what? Dukkha. Misery. Something starts as enjoyment and later transforms into what? Misery. This is known as which dukkha?
Parinam dukkha.
So what is a simple example of this, dear devotees? For example, there is a boy and girl who fall deeply in love with each other. They look very beautiful, both of them. They are the perfect pair, perfect match that can be found. And they get married. Dear devotees, is it happiness or distress? Right now, is it happiness or distress? Happiness. 2 years later, the boy loses all his hair, and the girl, after giving birth to two children, she loses half of her beauty. So, is it happiness or distress? This is the example of which dukkha, dear devotees? The first misery that arises from the direct sources of enjoyment is called as parinam dukkha. And Patanjali Muni says, Buddha means intelligent person will understand. So the intelligent person understands that misery arises from the very source of enjoyment. And the first dukkha is which dukkha? Parinama. Something starts as enjoyment and then ends up in transforms into misery. Parinam dukkha. Now somebody may say, I am not going to be affected by this. Patanjali Muni, this is not a convincing argument. In order to, I will not be affected. I will live happily ever after. So Patanjali Muni says, don't worry. There is the second dukkha. Please repeat after me. Tapa dukkha. Tapa dukkha. Tapa dukkha is that misery which starts arising in the process of enjoyment. While you are enjoying, the misery that starts coming is known as which dukkha? Tapa dukkha. And this misery is because that particular object of enjoyment is gradually going to end. And I give an example frequently of this. For example, let's say there is a person who is deeply attached to smoking cigarettes, and every day he smokes one entire packet of cigarettes. So every day he wants one entire packet. One fine evening, he comes back home and he looks in the cupboard. There is only one cigarette remaining for tomorrow. It's time to refill. So he has to go to the gas station and he has to bring a new packet of cigarettes. He says, I'll take a shower. I'll then go to the gas station. I'll bring. So he goes and takes a shower. After coming back, he sees that there is an announcement on TV that everything is shut down due to COVID-19. So for tomorrow, dear devotees, how many cigarettes are remaining? And when tomorrow comes and he's smoking that one last cigarette, is he enjoying or is he suffering? This is which dukkha, dear devotees? In the process of enjoyment. Because he feels that the enjoyment is going to end very soon. So he is not even able to enjoy nicely. This dukkha is known as which dukkha? Tapa. Srila Prabhupada used to give another wonderful example of tapa dukkha. He used to say that often you will see birds on the tree, small birds on the tree, they are trying to eat some fruit. So before eating, they will look left and right if nobody is about to attack them. In the process of enjoyment, these people are, these living entities are experiencing distress. This is known as which dukkha? Now somebody may say, no, I will not experience even tap dukkha. I will have unlimited supply of enjoyment. So I will never feel that it is going to run out. I'm never going to run out of this. So Patanjali Muni says, even if you enjoy happily for your entire life without any obstruction, there is still one dukkha waiting for you. Dear devotees, even if you enjoy throughout your life without any obstruction, there is still one dukkha waiting for you. Please repeat. Samskara dukkha. Samskara dukkha. What is samskara dukkha? Patanjali Muni says that if there is no obstacle to enjoyment, let's say there is a boy and girl who meet, they are perfectly good looking and they fall in love with each other, get married to each other, and there is no parinam also. There is no transformation. They remain beautiful looking till their death. And until their death, there are absolutely no fights. They live so happily. How many of us would like to have such a life? Please raise your hand. Raise your hand. Don't be shy. How many of us would like to have such a life? Please be honest and raise your hand. It means you don't have such a life right now. Is it?
Already there.
That was a loaded trick question. They raise their hands. They are not happy in their life. So let's say, and both of them die together holding their hands, and they say, I love you very much, I love you very much. All right, end of life. So throughout their life, there was happiness or distress. What was their happiness? No obstacle to enjoyment. Every enjoyment puts a samskar, puts an impression on the heart. Oh, my partner should be like this. The girl is also thinking, my partner should be like this. And with so many years of positive samskars, they die and both of them take another birth. And in another birth, their heart is already having the samskars, impressions of enjoyment. Now in the next life, are they going to get a similar partner or is it uncertain?
Uncertain.
Let's say they don't get such a partner in their next life. Their impressions of happiness from previous lives are going to give them distress in their next life. This dukkha is known as which dukkha? Samskara. No, I mean, Patanjali Muni is beautiful. I am not. Patanjali Muni is beautiful. Acha, dear devotees, now let's go back and sing again. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga.
Yehi samsparshaja bhoga.
Dukkhayonaya evate.
Dukkayonaya evate.
Adyantavantah kaunteya.
Adyantavantah kaunteya.
Shuramate Buddha.
Nadeshu ramate Buddha.
Intelligent person. Bhagavan is saying which person?
Intelligent.
Intelligent means they understand parinam, dukh, tap, dukh, samskar. And after understanding and experiencing in their life, that person is not blind enough to say, no, I will still enjoy whatever little happiness I have. Vyasdev says, if you want to enjoy honey mixed with poison, it is your choice. If you want to do that in life, it is your choice. But know that there is no unadulterated honey of enjoyment in this particular world. All enjoyment is laced with three types of suffering. What are the three types of suffering? And I usually explain these three with the help of one single example. And this is an example from my personal life. Dear devotees, I will tell you one example. The first time I came to the United States was in 2019. In 2019, I went to the home of a devotee. They were organizing a program, and suddenly they gave me one glass of juice. And in the glass, there was a wonderful pink juice. So I had never tasted something like that. It was very wonderful, sweet juice. I asked him, "What is it?" Like, it is pink coconut water. Huh? How many of you know pink coconut water? No? Oh, there are a few. Huh? So, dear devotees, in the United States, there is something called as pink coconut water available. And you can search for it later. It comes from Thailand. It is a very rare variety of coconut water, pink coconut water, and very, very sweet. So, first time I had, I said, this is wonderful. Huh? Dear devotees, that year I decided when I go back to India, I'll take 2 bottles of pink coconut water. So I took 2 bottles. When I reached India, I reached home. I opened them. One of them had rotten already. So, which dukkha, dear devotees? Something started as enjoyment, transformed into what? Misery. So out of 2 bottles, I am left with how many bottles? One. Imagine in India, when I am drinking from that one bottle, which dukkha am I experiencing? So the next year I decided I will take 10 bottles and I will check the stock. It should not get rotten. So I took 10 bottles. Now I am happy when I am in India. That year I had 10 bottles and gradually in 1 month I finished. But when it was 9th bottle, something started setting in. What started setting in? Tapa. And when the 10th bottle ended and I had nothing more remaining, then which dukkha is coming? Devotees? Samskara. So I went to the shopkeeper and I asked in India, do you have pink coconut water? He said, "Pagal hai." You are okay. There is only one color coconut water. Water colored coconut water. So these dear devotees, three types of miseries everybody experiences. In small things also, like coconut water, and in major things also, like relationships. Alright? Three dukkhas are there. Parinam dukkha, tap dukkha, samskar dukkha. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery. Bhagavan does not say he does not enjoy. Please understand this thing. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. Which means that when a particular enjoyment comes, the way of an intelligent person, that intelligent person allows it to pass through without getting attached. Such pleasures have a beginning and an end. If we become attached, then the beginning will give us happiness and the end will give us misery. And so the wise man does not delight in that. This is the intelligent person's understanding. Now, dear devotees, how many of us are convinced that misery arises from the very source of pleasures? Please raise your hands. Okay, now, all right. Why? Because of how many reasons? Parinam dukha, tav dukha, samskara. Now, dear devotees, it's wonderful to know that all of this vairagya is needed for us. Because if we keep rotting in this material world, we are going to come again and again in contact with these three types of suffering. And especially for those who are on the path of bhakti yoga, they definitely feel that the material world is not such a fit place to stay. Sri Krishna in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, however, tells Uddhav that before you start cultivating Vairagya, you have to be a little aware. Vairagya is very good, but don't overdo it. Vairagya is very good, but don't overdo it.
The definition of
Wonderful. So all the questions will gradually be answered. Now we are coming. The topic of the lecture was not just Vairagya. What was the topic?
Bhakti and Vairagya.
So now we are trying to understand from the Bhakti perspective what is the Bhakti Yogi's perspective on Vairagya. Sri Krishna to Uddhav in the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. Please sing after me. तस्मान् मद्भक्तियुक्तस्य योगिनो वै मदात्मनः न ज्ञानं न च वैराग्यं प्रायः श्रेयो भवेदिह. And see the third line, Bhagavan is saying na to two things. What are two things Bhagavan is saying? So we know what is the meaning of na. Na is common in all the languages. No. No gyan, no vairagya. Tasman mad bhakti yuktasya. Therefore, Uddhav, for one who is equipped with my bhakti yoga, yogino vai, if he is a true bhakti yogi, mad atmana, he has his mind devoted to me. He will not separately need two things. What are the two things he will not separately need? Gyan and vairagya. What is the meaning of gyan? Knowledge of
knowledge.
Vedic knowledge.
Impersonal
Brahman. Knowledge of impersonal Brahman is called as Jnana. In Shastra, the meaning of Jnana is knowledge of what? Impersonal aspect of Supreme, which is known as Brahman. Jnana does not mean knowledge of engineering and chemistry and playing guitar. That is not Jnana. Jnana here means knowledge of what? Impersonal Brahman. Na Jnanam. Such a person does not need impersonal knowledge. Na cha Vairagyam. And such a person also does not need what? Vairagya. Why? Praya Shreya, these two things will not help such a person who is practicing which yoga? Bhakti yoga. Here is the translation. Kindly read the translation, Prabhu.
Therefore, for a devotee engaged in my loving service, with mind fixed on me, the cultivation of Gyan, knowledge, and Vairagya, renunciation, is generally not the means of achieving the highest perfection within this world.
Okay. So, for a devotee engaged in my loving service, the cultivation of Gyan, knowledge, which knowledge? Knowledge of impersonal Brahman. And Vairagya is generally not required. It is generally not required. Why? Many devotees have heard that Vairagya is very much required for practicing bhakti. But Sri Krishna himself in the Srimad Bhagavatam is saying you don't need to separately cultivate Vairagya. Vairagya is a natural side effect of practicing genuine bhakti. Vairagya should not be made a cause of bhakti. Vairagya should not be made a cause of bhakti. Vairagya is a side effect of bhakti. Difference. I will tell you with a simple example. What is the difference? I'll give an example. Let's say there is a lady who has not given birth to a child, but she has great desire to give birth to a child. So she says, I want to be an ideal mother. And then she approaches another mother and says, how do I understand? What services you need to render to the child. So the mother says, oh, newborn child is not very easy. See, the newborn child wakes up 3 or 4 times in the night and cries. And then you have to take care of the child so many times in the night. So this lady hears this, and what she does is she goes home and she puts 4 alarm clocks in the middle of the night. Okay? So she's waking up in the middle of the night in order to practice how to become a mother. Recommended or not recommended? Why?
The purpose is
Think about it deeply. She's practicing. Now, when she becomes a mother, she has to wake up 4 times in the middle of the night. So she's already putting 4 alarm clocks and she's practicing waking up in the middle of the night. What is the problem in doing that?
it's not the main purpose. It should be satisfied.
It will naturally come after becoming mother.
Wonderful. So the ladies told her.
I think nothing wrong.
You think nothing wrong? Thank God you are in the male school. When she already, let's say that lady already gets a child in her womb. Now she's expecting a child. Should she be recommended to wake up 4 times in the middle of the night? Now you will not say yes. So many individuals on the path of bhakti, they do these things. Bhakti yoga already has many elements of vairagya inbuilt in it. Instead of those elements of vairagya which are already part of bhakti yoga, they start to separately cultivate vairagya. And I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say I go to Prabhuji, your name? Daru Govind. I go to Daru Govind. Nowadays, I don't feel so much advanced on this path. Daru Govind says, you should execute some nice tapasya. I said, Acha, what tapasya? Sleep on the floor and eat only once a day. You will feel nice in your practice of bhakti yoga. So, dear devotees, sleeping on the floor and eating once a day is part of bhakti yoga or ashtanga yoga? But now, hearing Daru Govind Prabhu, I am introducing practices of ashtanga yoga in which yoga? In fact, by gradual progress on the path of bhakti, by having attachment to Sri Krishna, I should have naturally come to the conclusion that it is better for me to spend my day in Smaran and reduce my eating. Rather than first reducing my eating in order to increase my Smaran. So I hope you are able to understand the same example that the lady before even giving birth to a child, she is waking up 4 times in the middle of the night. Putting the cart before the horse. So this, dear devotees, is what harms the practice of bhakti. Bhakti is actually a path of genuine attachment towards Bhagavan. And I'll tell you, when people start having genuine attachment, they automatically start becoming detached. I'll tell you some examples from the material world. Sometimes you might have seen there is a particular boy or girl who falls helplessly in love with a boy falls helplessly in love with a girl, or a girl falls helplessly in love with a boy. You will see they forget eating time, they forget sleeping time. Now this vairagya is artificial or natural? Why? It is a side effect of experiencing love. Similarly, if it works in the material world, definitely it will also work in case of Sri Krishna. Therefore, Bhagavan says, na jnanam na cha vairagyam. That it is not required that you separately cultivate jnana and vairagya. Whatever vairagya is part of bhakti yoga, that itself is enough. I'll give you a simple example. In bhakti yoga, we are told that you should follow Ekadashi. Now, Ekadashi comes once in a fortnight, which means on Ekadashi you voluntarily give up grains. Is it a little austere, yes or no? Yes. Unless you make it Ekadashi feast, alright? So then which we are not supposed to do. Alright, so Ekadashi is once in how many days? 15 days. On that particular day, a devotee, in order to increase their remembrance and their kirtan of Bhagwan, they are very happy. Chalo, at least once in 15 today, I don't have to cook anything. Today, I don't have to cook anything. Now they are happy, and then one fine day, that one particular day, they will spend more in their smaran and kirtan. This, dear devotees, is that vairagya which comes as a natural side effect of practicing which yoga? Bhakti yoga. It is part of bhakti yoga. So we don't need to artificially enforce any vairagya outside of the ambit of bhakti yoga. In fact, Sri Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Please repeat after me what Sri Rupa Goswami says. ज्ञान वैराग्ययोर भक्ति
ज्ञान वैराग्ययोर भक्ति
प्रवेशायोपयोगिता
प्रवेशायोपयोगिता
प्रथममेवेति
ईश्वर प्रथममेवेति
नांगत्वमुचितं तयो.
नागत्वमुचितं तयो.
You can see first two terms Sri Rupa Goswami mentioned. What is the first term? Jnana is what devotees? Knowledge of impersonal Brahman. And what is the second thing? Vairagya. Vairagya, your bhakti praveshaya upayogita. They may be useful in the very beginning little bit. Ishar, little bit vairagya is needed in the beginning. What little bit vairagya? Material world is not a good place. And from the sources of happiness, what arises? Misery arises. This much vairagya all of you have. Everybody agrees that from the sources of happiness, misery arises. Yes. Everybody agrees that the material world is not such a nice place. Yes. Isha, little vairagya you have. Congratulations, you can enter into the path of bhakti. Now, after entering into the path of bhakti, do you need to separately cultivate vairagya? No. Na angatvam uchitam tayo. Uchitam, it is not suitable that you make them limbs of bhakti. Vairagya should not be turned into a limb of bhakti. There are limbs of bhakti already present. And what are those limbs of bhakti? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma, Nivedanam. And Vairagyam is not one of those limbs. Look at the 64 limbs of bhakti in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Vairagya is not one of those 64 limbs. So, a tiny bit of knowledge and renunciation are useful for entering into bhakti. That too in the very beginning. Therefore, it is not suitable to consider these two as limbs of bhakti. Vairagya is not a limb of bhakti. What is the harm if I cultivate more vairagya? Sri Jiva Goswami gives a reply in his comment. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Bhakti pravishtasya vairagyam chitta kathinya hetutaya. Heyatven uttam. For a person who has entered into bhakti, over cultivation of renunciation is rejected because chitta kathinya. What is kathinya, devotees? Hard. It makes your heart very hard. It hardens the heart. And this heart is the sense organ required for experiencing bhakti ras. And therefore, if we harden the heart by practicing vairagya, then that same heart cannot later relish the goal of bhakti, which is bhakti ras. Therefore, it is not suitable to over cultivate vairagya. Usually, you will see such devotees are very dry. And so you look at them as if there is nothing remaining in life. Prabhu, the material world is a place of suffering. Achha, tell me something new about the material. I already know that the material world is a place of suffering. Tell me something new. No, Prabhu. That's all that you need to know about the material world. It's a place of suffering. Achha, theek hai. Please describe some Krishna Katha. Please describe some nice topics about Bhagwan's pastimes, Bhagwan's qualities, etc. Hare Prabhu. Right now, we need to get out of this world. First So, this person took the sandpaper of Vairagya and ended up scraping his heart. overdose of vairagya. So then you say, हिंदी में बोलते हैं चेहरे पे 12 बजते हैं. आप समझ ना? चेहरे पे 12 बजते हैं. You know what is the meaning of that? It's always 12 o'clock on his mission. You can't translate that. He's always having that look. He's always having that look of when am I going to die? Because happiness is not in this world. Happiness is after death. That look such a person is carrying throughout their lives. In Hindi, we say चेहरे पे 12 बजे. Such a person, you will see, they are not happy on the path. And in fact, Sri Krishna has said, Su Sukham Kartam Abhyayam. The path is joyfully executed. And these people make it Pu Dukham Kartam. They make it extremely distressful. The same path which can be executed very happily, these people make it very difficult for themselves. And Sri Rupa Goswami confirms this. Please repeat. Yadube chitta kaఠిన్య.
Yadube chitta kaఠిన్య.
Hetu praya satamate.
Hetu praya satamate.
Sukumara swabhaveyam.
Sukumara swabhaveyam.
Bhaktistathe duririta.
Bhaktistathe duririta.
Yadube. Both means both in the previous slide. What were the two things which were mentioned? Chitta Kaఠિન્ય hetu. They are hetu, they are cause of Chitta Kaఠિન્ય. What is Chitta Kaఠિન્ય? Hardening the heart. Satam Mate. In the opinion of sadhus, these two harden the heart. Sukumara Swabhava Iyam Bhakti. Bhakti is Sukumara Swabhava. She is very soft natured and gentle. So people say, without Vairagya, how will I develop Bhakti? So Srila Rupa Goswami says, Bhakti is very gentle natured. Tad hetu. Bhakti will give you more Bhakti. I hope you are able to understand what will give you more Bhakti. Bhakti will give you more Bhakti. It's not that Vairagya will give you more Bhakti. Bhakti will give you more Bhakti. And Vairagya will be produced as a side effect of that. Please read the translation too.
In the opinion of great sages, the over cultivation of Gyan and Vairagya are both not recommended, since they harden the heart. Instead, Bhakti Devi, who is very soft and gentle in nature, is the cause of development of Bhakti herself.
Yeah. So Bhakti, which is the Bhakti, who is very soft and gentle, is actually the cause of development of Bhakti. Vairagya does not lead to Bhakti. What leads to Bhakti? Bhakti leads to further Bhakti. Those who are thinking that Vairagya leads to Bhakti, Vairagya leads to a dry heart. Please try to understand. Vairagya leads to one thing. What does Vairagya lead to? Dry heart. And a dry heart cannot lead to Bhakti. It will only lead to depression in the material world. And that cannot be a path leading to Bhakti. Therefore, dear devotees, very important to understand, on this path of Bhakti, we have to know Vairagya is important, but not as the cause of Bhakti. Vairagya is important as an effect of Bhakti. Vairagya is naturally produced as an effect of executing genuine Bhakti. Those who don't understand the process of Bhakti in a proper manner, those individuals are not able to make progress on the path. Instead of Bhakti, they take Vairagya to be a yardstick of progress. And by taking Vairagya as a yardstick of progress, they show Vairagya in front of everybody. And other people think that because such a person appears to be very depressed in the material world, so such a person must be an advanced devotee. When in fact, such a person is not an advanced devotee, because the actual advanced devotee is somebody who has bhakti ras, the joyous flow of the Nam Roop Guna Lila of Bhagwan, something positive within their hearts. Simply a person who is negative in their heart cannot be considered as an advanced bhakti yogi. So this, dear devotees, is the sweet conclusion of the relationship between bhakti and vairagya. Simple summary. In this world, the term vairagya is formed using the term rag. What is the meaning of rag? Attachment. What is the meaning of virag?
Detachment from one of the some objects.
For one or two selected object, virag. The general feeling of virag when it appears in all objects, what is it called? Vairagya. Now, vairagya is necessary because in this material world, all happiness leads to how many types of miseries? Three. What are the three types?
Parinam dukha, tapa dukha, samsara.
And after knowing this, an intelligent person, they may still get some enjoyment, but they don't try to associate too much with that. And they don't get too much attached with any particular environment. But vairagya by itself is a negative process. It is not a positive process. For a bhakti yogi, what is more important to practice a negative process or a positive process? Positive. The positive process for a bhakti yogi is Shravanam, Kirtanam, etc. That Shravanam, Kirtanam will automatically give rise to what? Vairagya. So there is no separate need of cultivation of Vairagya for one who is genuinely practicing bhakti yoga. This, dear devotees, is the glorious conclusion of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Yadatra skalitam kinchit vidvansah purayantu tat yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skalitam kinchit. If I made any mistakes, vidvansah, you are learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit. But if there's anything nice, please remember that Guru Reva. It belongs to my Gurujanas. Me nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much once again. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wonderful home, beautiful home. And I'm very happy to be again coming here and speaking. Thank you so much for again kindly extending an invitation. I'm very, very grateful. And do we have time for question and answers?
Yes, Prabhu.
So let's have question and answers for a few minutes and then we will pause. Yes, Mataji. And devotees, please pay close attention to the Q&A. Many important points are discussed during it. Yes, please.
So, Prabhuji, what could be the real-time examples that we can understand, okay, this is the over-cultivation of Vairagya?
Wonderful. What are real-time examples of what is this is over-cultivation of Vairagya? Any Vairagya which is not part of Bhakti, limbs of Bhakti. Actually speaking, whatever are given as limbs of Bhakti, that we have to practice. Anything which we are doing external to that is not part of Bhakti Yoga and that it becomes artificial for the Bhakti Yoga. So we have to understand what are the 64 limbs of Bhakti as given in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Once we understand those 64 limbs of Bhakti, then we will understand how much Vairagya is necessary, how much Vairagya is not necessary. In the 64 limbs of Bhakti, limb number 11 to limb number 20 are negative limbs. What we should avoid. In that, there will be many things which you have to voluntarily give up. So that is what the Vairagya that is required for Bhakti. They have many things which are required for Bhakti Yogi. Anything outside of that, there is absolutely no need because it is a complete container, airtight container. You don't need to bring anything from outside in order to make it complete. So Bhakti itself is a complete container. It doesn't need support from any other system of yoga. So that is by understanding Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we will understand what types of Vairagya are needed, what types are not needed. But that being a very detailed subject matter, but I gave one example, Ekadashi. So Ekadashi, does it require some voluntary giving up?
Yeah.
Yes. What do we voluntarily give up on Ekadashi? Grains. We don't eat grains. It's a form of tyag. We are doing virag. Virag, naturally we are getting detached from. Bhakti Yoga asks us to not eat grains on that particular day. This is part of Bhakti Yoga. Now what will happen is when you will advance on the path and then you will have that natural attachment to Shri Krishna. All of these things will become very, very natural. And not only this, any other form of Vairagya will also become very, very natural. But we don't want to accept any Vairagya which is unnatural and which goes against our Preeti. What is Preeti, dear devotees? Affection for Shri Krishna. So any Vairagya that goes against our Preeti for Shri Krishna, that Vairagya we do not recommend. So I hope that answers your question. Alright. I'll go to him, then I'll come to you.
So question is, Prabhu, like the Vairagya, or like, the detachment which goes in the cyclic form. What is the meaning of it?
Vairagya which goes in a cyclic, which means sometimes you become attached, sometimes you become detached. It is called as Vyatirek Vairagya. According to Patanjali Muni, it is called as which Vairagya? Vyatirek Vairagya. I had given you 4 stages: Yataman, Vyatirek, Ekendriya, and Vashikara. So either it is Yataman, if no sense organ is conquered, it is in which Vairagya? Yataman. Then it goes up and down. Or either it is Vyatirek. Vyatirek means one sense organ is conquered, 2 are conquered, but remaining 2 are letting us go up and down. Either is Yataman or Vyatirek. Aim is, at least through the practice of Bhakti Yoga, we should come to the third platform. What is the third platform? Ekendriya. That at least it is not executed on the level of the body senses, it remains on the level of the mind. And then gradually, through experiencing genuine attachment to Shri Krishna, we are not in a hurry, but finally we have to try and come to which stage? Vashika. Vashika is absolutely no desire is remaining. Vishnu Rupa Goswami says that happens on the stage of Bhava and Prem. On the stage of Bhav, Ekendriya. On the stage of Prem, Vashikar. The final stage, Prem, Vashikar. Till that point, there is no, you can't attain those stages. Okay.
And then one more supplement question. Ekendriya means mind, right?
Ek means what?
Ekendriya.
And Indriya is?
Mind.
No.
Senses.
And so, after the attachment is removed from all the physical senses, the attachment remains in which sense organ?
Mind.
That is the one Indriya.
So my question is, all the kind of desire, they lives in mind itself.
Okay.
Senses are just manifestation.
It means that you were not actually on Ekendriya. You were actually on Yataman or Vyatirek. So you misjudged your position.
Kendriya means it's not coming out, even though it is there.
Long time has happened. It is not manifesting on the level of the senses, but for a little attachment. अरे कितना अच्छा दिन था, है ना? So how nice a time it was. That is called as which vairagya? Ekendriya. If it's still manifesting on the senses, it's not Ekendriya. It's either Vyatirek or Yataman. Yes, Pataji. But do we have any access right now? No. Or you might have read somewhere, or you might have heard somewhere that if you go to Egypt, you can have the beautiful sight of the pyramids in front of you. So it is Anushravik right now. You have not gone there and actually seen it. So there are some enjoyments which you have heard of, but you have not practically experienced. That are called Anushravika. There are some enjoyments which you have practically experienced. They are called Drishta. These are the 2 types. They are basically 2 categorizations of Bhoga. So there are 2 categorizations of Vishaya or Bhoga. That is the answer. I hope that satisfies you. Yes. Yes.
One question. You could have explained bhakti first, right? And then the byproduct is vairagya. But most of the time I see vairagya is explained first and then bhakti.
Yeah. The reason why vairagya is explained first and then bhakti, vairagya is something which is very easy to start cultivating. People, they find that what is the best thing I can do? I can deny myself. I hope you're able to understand. So that is very easy to do. But what is very difficult to do is to have genuine attachment to Sri Krishna. That is what you call, sometimes in Buddhist phrase it is called the milk of the lioness. I hope you're able to the milk of the lioness. You can get milk from any other source, but in order to milk the lioness, you will have to have a brave heart. And the milk of the lioness you can't hold in a earthen pot. The earthen pot breaks. You have to have a metal pot in order to hold the milk of the lioness. So it's very easy to start claiming advancement based on vairagya. And that is the platform which appeals to everybody initially. But actual advancement on the path of Bhakti Yoga is not through vairagya. Actual advancement is through the path of direct engagement in the limbs of Bhakti. So why did I speak first about vairagya and then I spoke about Bhakti Yoga? is because first we speak about that which is most relatable to us, and then we speak about that which is not so much relatable to us. So in Sanskrit it is called Arundhati Darshan Nyaya. Arundhati Darshan Nyaya. What is Arundhati Darshan Nyaya? Those who are from southern part of India, during marriage they show you Arundhati. How many? How many had that in marriage? Huh? Arey, wonderful. Huh? Even if you can't see it, they still make you point. That's called Arundhati Darshan. What is Arundhati Darshan now? In the sky, there is one constellation called as Ursa Major, Big Dipper. It has a Saptarishi. So the second last one is actually a twin star. And in that twin star, one star is bright, one star is faint. But to see the faint star, you first point to the bright star. And then you say, oh, just next to the bright star, you can see that faint one, that is Arundhati. So, when explaining something, what is immediately accessible is pointed. Oh, can you see Vairagya? Oh, yeah, we have experience of Vairagya. Just next to that, there is Bhakti Yoga, which is more subtle to see. So that Arundhati Darshan. So therefore, first what is immediately accessible, and then what is not so immediately accessible. Okay? Wonderful. Yes.
The verse in Bhagavad Gita 270 and 71 of Puriyamana Matala Pushtima, the next one, we do need example of Vashika.
Apuryamanam Achala Pratishtham. Let devotees, yeah, we will also have devotees understand the words so that the context of the question is understood. This is 2.70. Apuryamanam Achala Pratishtham Samudra Mapa Pravishanti Yadvat Tadvat Kamaya Pravishanti Sarve Sashanti Mapnoti Na Kama Kami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace. This is a person who has achieved Vashikara. Vashikara means?
Right, so this and the next one, we both the examples of Vashika.
Yeah. And the next one? Yeah, a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification. Yes. This is an example of Vashikara. But Vashikara cannot be attained forcibly. Vashikara has to be attained in a very organic manner. Vashikar is attained by cultivation of Bhakti Yoga and being of a very sober, mature, and cool frame of mind. Such a person understands what is to be done in the world, what is not to be done in the world.
So just as a follow-up to this, we understand that this is a natural byproduct of bhakti, but just in the context of the Bhagavad Gita and seeing that this is in the second chapter, just what would a literal understanding according to the context would be of these two verses?
These two verses especially are referring to the practice of advancement on Jnana Yoga and other platforms, because right now the Bhagavad Gita is not speaking about Bhakti Yoga. And through Jnana Yoga also you can achieve the stage of Vashikar. There is no problem, you can achieve through Jnana Yoga also, you can achieve through Ashtanga Yoga also. The difference is in Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga you will end up scraping your heart. Yeah. So you, in a hard-hearted way, you are not being disturbed by material desires. In Bhakti Yoga, you are very joyous. And what is the condition of the Bhakti Yogi? Evam vrata swa priyanama kirtya.
Evam vrata swa priyanama kirtya.
Anurago dhridachitta uchay.
Jatanurago dhridachitta uchay. Hasatya toro datirotikayati. Unmadavan rityati lokabhaya.
Can you please read the translation?
By chanting the holy name of Supreme Lord, one comes to the stage of love of Godhead.
Gradually one comes to the stage of love of Godhead, Krishna Prem.
Then the devotee is fixed in his vows as an eternal servant of the Lord, and he gradually becomes very much attached to a particular name and the form of Supreme Personality of Godhead. As his heart melts with the ecstatic love, he laughs very loudly or cries or shouts. Sometimes he sings and dances like a madman, for he is indifferent to the public opinion.
This is the Vairagya of which yogi?
Bhakti yogi.
Because,
Vashika.
Vashika. I mean, he doesn't care. Vashika. I mean, sense objects and all those things don't matter to you. Vashika. I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
So probably we have the intelligence in the mind, and we have three modes: mode of passion, goodness, and ignorance. So if intelligence is pure, then we will develop love to the heart.
If intelligence is pure, then we will develop love.
So if the intelligence is pure, means if we don't interact with the three modes, that's when we will have love.
No.
So let me just finish the question. So you can clarify that. And then when we have bhakti yoga, will it develop the heart or will it develop the intelligence? The love in the heart or will it develop the intelligence? As it is, when we go out in the material world, the three modes are always present. So which one do you purify? The intelligence or the heart, or do you do it simultaneously? And when you chant, does it go through the intelligence and then to the heart, or does it go straight to the heart and then the intelligence registers it?
In the practice of Bhakti Yoga, it is a practice of developing prema of Sri Krishna, not a practice of separately trying to purify the intelligence. You are working against material nature, who is unlimitedly more powerful than you. So trying to purify the intelligence with one's own effort is going to be ultimately useless. Because one day you may purify, next day again the material world will present you with a confusing situation by which you may get affected again. So it is impossible to try to purify on one's own strength. Bhakti Yoga also does not mean purifying the heart with one's own strength. Bhakti Yoga means allowing Bhagwan to do the purification by his own sweet desire. Bhagwan will do it. We just follow the process as it is given by the previous acharyas instead of trying to become the controller of the process. Many times we are thinking that we will control the process of Bhakti Yoga in order to achieve a specific result. The process is not supposed to be controlled by us. The process is controlled by Bhagavan and the directions of the Guru. The person who is following the process simply follows under the direction of the Guru. The results come automatically.
When we interact with the three modes, that we go out and interact with the three modes, then where does the bhakti yoga, how does the bhakti yoga grow? Because every time you try to grow it, there's going to be some attachment, and then there's going to be detachment. So when you chant, you're meant to sharpen your intelligence to go closer to the supreme soul, Shri Krishna, right? And when the chanting drops, means there is some distraction. So how do you bring your mind and your heart, to go through this? How do you make it grow through this? What is the key? What is the key experience?
It seems that your experience of Bhakti Yoga is that chanting is when you become detached from the material world, and as soon as chanting stops, you again start becoming attached to the material world.
What I mean is chanting is happiness, is love of an attachment. So automatically you will detach. When you have something beautiful to attach to,
Wonderful.
you don't need to look at the detachment.
Sure, wonderful. That's what was said in the lecture. I understand. Yeah.
So we don't look at vairagya.
Yeah.
What we look at is we look at the attachment.
Sure.
Once the intelligence is going through the three modes, then it is not stable. In other words, it is not consistent because your intelligence has to interact because the intelligence comes first.
Yeah, but there is something higher than the intelligence, which controls the intelligence.
What is that?
Now I understood the crux of your question. Indriyani paranyāho.
Indriyani paranyāho.
Indriyebhya param mana.
Indriyebhya param mana.
Manasastu para buddhi.
Manasastu para buddhi.
Buddhi
ते परतस्तु सा.
3.42. You please read the translation. You are able to see? No. Prabhu, Darul will read it.
The working senses are superior to dull matter.
Wonderful, wonderful. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Level 1.
Mind is higher than the senses.
Level 2.
Intelligence is still higher than mind.
Level 3.
And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence.
Wonderful. So who can control the intelligence? Soul. And the intelligence controls what?
Mind.
And the mind controls what?
Senses.
So ultimately, if we control the intelligence, but if Saha, the soul itself is not experiencing anything tangible, that control will not last. Ultimately, the Saha, the living entity, has to have prema. When the living entity has prema, automatically the intelligence will be directed by that prema. The living entity, when the intelligence will be directed by that prema, automatically the mind and senses will fall into line. There is something higher than the intelligence, and that is the living entity. And the living entity, when they receive the gift of prema, everything else falls in a straight line. Everything else falls in a straight line. Simple example, even in the material world, person is deeply attached to smoking cigarettes. His intelligence tells him, why should I quit? There is no reason to quit. Is non-devotee, person is in the material world, he is deeply attached to smoking cigarettes. Everybody tells him it's bad for your health. Every day they tell him it's bad for your health. That's not a valid reason. My intelligence tells me I should not quit. Every day the intelligence is polluting his mind is polluting the senses, and he ends up smoking a cigarette. Then he falls in love with a girl madly, head over heels. She says, I'll only marry you if you quit smoking cigarettes. Oh. Now this is something higher than the level of intelligence. Oh, I have deep love for her, and I don't want to let that go. Intelligence, can you make a compromise, please? There is something higher than the short and sweet. There is something higher than the level of intelligence, which is to have prema gifted to the living entity through the agency of Guru and Sri Bhagavan. That's it. We pause here? Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Mr. Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Now we go to the sweetest part of the program. No, the announcements by Sureshwar Shyam.
Thank you all. We behaved very nicely. Nice. Thank you. And then tomorrow we have another program with Prabhuji in Harrisburg. It is not too far. Please join us. Yeah. And please join us, RSVP. And then what's the topic?
No, topic is not the same. There are a few topics I'll try to figure out.
Yeah, topic is surprise. Please come. And then we'll have ad hoc sessions with Prabhuji. So we'll put it in the group. If you are available on the Zoom or something, please join. One session is on Wednesday about Vastu. Wednesday. Vastu is on Wednesday. Tomorrow we'll publish. And then, so we'll go for break for Prasadam or it's already 8:45. We'll break for Prasadam. So we have our temple flyers. Please take some, distribute some. Like I said, thank you all for contributing, donating, helping in whatever way. So it will be very joyful process for us to, go through this journey and have our own place for Sri Sri Radha. Yes, sir. Chaurashtakam. Yeah. Chaurashtakam. Prasadam can be made ready, and then yeah, so you can still put Chaurashtakam on the. Yeah. So we all can. Huh?
Yeah, people can open it with their phone.
phone.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No. Okay. Anyway, we'll face the deities now and we'll offer a lamp in this Purushottam month.
Who will sing? To sing?
So please open Chaurashtakam on your phone. Please come, offer by your family, and then the other thing will be at home.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Braje prasidam navanita chauram. Braje
Siddham Navanita Chauram
Gopanganam jagurula chauram.
Chauram
Aneka janmarjita papa chauram.
Chauram
Chauragraganyam purusham namami. Sridadikaya hridayasya chauram. Navamudasya malakanti chauram. Padashritanam jadamasta chauram.
Samasta Chauram
Chauragraganyam purusham namami.
Chauragraganyam Purusham Namami
Akinchani kritya padashritam yaha. Karode viksham vadigena hinam. Nabhyo
Acharya Rupo Nanachaurayedre Krishasuto Anamaya Kadapi Pranam Chamanam Tatendriyani Mama Sarvameva Ambakidam Nasi Maya Yudhra Sikoram Yamapasabandam Vinati Bhimam Bhavapashavanta Vinati Sarvasya Samasta Bandha Naivatmano Bhakta Kripantu Bandha Manaseta Madrasigore Ragre Dukha Mayena Banda Kokatu Vasa Siddham Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mataji, whatever lamp. Prabhu
So Marcus is saying
Please go for the prasad. The garage. Please go for the prasad in the garage. Thank you all. See you again tomorrow for again a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
So, Prabhuji, you will keep this and give tomorrow, or we should take?
No, you already has it.
Huh?
Prabhu has it.
No, that is a small one.
We used it on Krishna Prabhu's workshop.
Yeah, it works, but it should be okay.
Take it, then take it.
Okay.
Because we tried without mixer, it didn't work.
It doesn't work, Prabhu. Because
Take better. This cable should be sufficient, you know.
Yeah.
All 50 cables are
Yeah.
small dabban.
okay.